Hey, Sweden! What? Hey, Norwegian! Jesus Christ. What the hell happened in here? Look at this. Whatever happened, he must have left in a hurry. They've left half a bottle of J&B. Well, they'd better come back home with me. Hey folks, how are you all? Hope you're doing well. It's Kilt-Man. Deep beneath this frosty, frost-bitten exterior, there's a Kilt-Man lurking. Shut the door, what were you, born in a barn or something? Jesus, it's freezing. Hey, J&B. King Kurt's favourite as Macready in John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982. You know it, you love it. I'm not here to talk about it. No, the news has broke today that Antarctica, the last bastion of humanity, the last outpost, 31, where mankind is at the threshold, at the mountains of madness, as Lovecraft would have it. The safest place on the planet, because it's the most isolated place on the planet. That was safe from the vicious, assimilating viral disease known as COVID-19. Has been safe from it all year, until now. Because apparently now, not one, not two, but 36 members of a Chilean research team, 86, are infected. Uh-oh. So yeah, that's a bit freakish, isn't it? And the news, of course, is that Antarctica was kept massively secure. Antarctica, a huge ice mass, a continent of ice, a big whiteout frontier, was kept safe because obviously people were stringently vetted and, you know, in isolation and all that, and medically tested before they're going out there. But 36 members of a Chilean research team, that's quite a sizable proportion, isn't it? Now, normally, you've got thousands of people who live out there and research, because Antarctica is not owned by any particular country, and pretty much every country's got a stake in Antarctica. Why? Well, Admiral Byrd would tell you that there's massive UFO bases under there. There's old Nazi submarine hangars and a huge, huge base full of personnel and high developed technology and stuff from interstellar places. And I'm not arguing with him because, you know, he saw it. Him and his fleet went out there. Anyway. But people are vetted, and how did the virus get out there? Well, if humans are taking it, humans are going to carry every bloody thing out with them, aren't they? So it's going to get there. And the problem with that is that because it's such an isolated place, that it can contaminate very quickly. So, you know, isolated research bases, people now can't travel. I mean, welcome to our world. We're in tier 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And, you know, there's loads of restrictions, you can't do anything. Well, they're restricted anyway because of the massive snow and ice, the, you know, massively minus 60-degree temperatures out there. And they're not in their winter. I think they're in their summer at the moment. And the summer, actually, the daylight lasts for it's at least 18 hours of sunlight. So you don't really get a nighttime because you get like a dusk, so that the sun is still hitting, you know, wherever you are. But as Macready says, Kurt Russell in The Thing, first goddamn week of winter. Everyone always says, like, oh, because it's just perpetual night in the wintertime, which the film does not show, obviously. But that's not actually true, because when they get the long winter nights, which are long, but the wintertime darkness spell is much, much shorter than the spell of light during the summertime. So even during the worst time, the most blackest of nights, the night's a lot shorter, and the sun still manages to sit at the horizon and send out a sort of twilight and a dusk light and then a pre-dawn light. So they don't get perpetual darkness out there. But what I do love about Antarctica is that when you go out there, there's a sort of initiation test. Not a test really, but you've got to, what they do on the midwinter day, which I think would be March, April, May. It's going to be sometime in April, I would have thought. I don't know. But they watch The Thing and The Shining, because they're both set in snowy, isolated places where paranoia and madness and absolute distrust takes place. And you'd have to do it, wouldn't you? You'd have to do it. If you were out there, if you were working on a research station, in whatever capacity, helicopter pilots, dog handler, whatever, technician, scientist, cook, you name it, engineer, you're going to watch The Thing, aren't you? Of course you are. Of course you are. Even though The Thing was never actually shot in Antarctica, it was shot up in British Columbia. And then in a studio as well, a frozen studio. But you'd have to do it. And The Shining, again, is a great example of people stuck in a place where the weather, the environment has conspired against you. You cannot make a run for it because you won't survive. So, it's one of those things. But yeah, 36 Chilean researchers have now got COVID-19. Or would it be the mutant strain of it? You can just imagine like Blair sitting there, can't you, on his archaic computer, trying to work out, 127,000 hours till full world infection and all that. And you've got to remember that Carpenter's movie dealt with the original John W. Campbell novella, Who Goes There, about an alien assimilating human beings, taking on their form. But as the decades moved on, it became a metaphor, obviously, in the original film version, Thing from Another World, from Christian Nyby and Howard Hawks, which is an absolute stellar classic of creature features in the 50s. It's about the Cold War, it's about distrust, about something from the outside coming in. We can't trust that, it's going to cause infighting. Are the Reds under the beds, all that kind of thing, that permeates that movie. But of course, in Carpenter's version, from 1982, you had the Cold War again, still, but you also had AIDS. AIDS was a big beginning to take a foothold, so it's a metaphor for disease as well. Carpenter wouldn't always say this, but that's how films and these plots are construed. Audiences perceive things in different ways, and they seem to reflect the times that they're in, whether on purpose or by sheer fluke. And The Thing definitely has that sort of thing about it. Now, it also seems very prescient that restrictions are forced upon people in a sort of ecosystem, a sort of microcosm of the world itself. Outpost 31 becomes the world. People don't trust each other. The hierarchy can't be trusted. The ones in charge are making new laws, but do we believe them? Isn't there some kind of test? If you can maybe mix some uncontaminated blood with someone else's blood, maybe we can find out who's human. So it kind of beggars the belief that they're doing this out in Antarctica right now. They're having tests. Can you imagine those guys sitting around? Now, I know it's not going to be a blood test. It's not going to be something like, I know I'm human, but blood from one of you things won't bleed when it's attacked. They'll try and crawl away from a hot needle, say. It's Palmer, and we know we can't trust him. So can you imagine how they're all sitting there, waiting for their COVID test? The up the snozzle, back of the throat, pure gag-inducing stuff. That I've not had a COVID test for a variety of reasons, but anyway, you shove one of them things down the back of your throat. I'm afraid I'm going to become, Linda Blair from The Exorcist. I ain't going to projectile vomit all over you. So, at your own risk, come and test me, motherfucker, And then they want to up the schnozzle. Fuck that. And the lateral testing one, whatever the hell that is, where you get results back in 20 minutes or whatever. Woohoo, record-breaking time. So, are they all sitting around doing that and waiting for the results to come through? and you've got one guy sitting there, the one who was snotting and snorting and coughing on the flight out there, and they've got him tied to a couch. Gary, you now. I know you gentlemen have been through a lot, but when you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch. They must be play acting this. If I was out there, God, people would be sick of this. I'd be strutting around in a flight suit and, G1 flight jacket and all that, and a big silly, Scoutmaster's Marine drill instructor's hat modified with a high Montana peak and all this sombrerified with a flamethrower. Did you bring your own flamethrower? Because we don't have them issued here. Isn't it bizarre? Outpost 31, pretty much everyone's got a flamethrower. Why do you have a flamethrower? It's all Vietnam allegory. That's what it is. Crashed wreckage of helicopters. The last image that the American public saw from the fall of Saigon was American crashed Hueys in flames, all getting pushed off the decks of the ships to rescue all the American personnel. The fall of Saigon. So that lingering image of American hardware having failed big time against an insidious foe, it's there. It's all there. The thing reflects all of this, like the snow glare, which completely blinds you but reflects everything back at you. The film does reflect the time it was made and all the various permutations that came before. Obviously, Campbell's novella, the story itself. Obviously, Christian Nyby, Howard Hawks' version, the paranoia, the Cold War. And then, of course, all the things from the 80s. But it also looks ahead, and that's the clever thing about the movie, why it never dies. Yeah, some of the equipment may be archaic now, but that doesn't matter. The film itself is timeless. It still looks very modern, it still looks very fresh. The gear they're all wearing, just the look, the gleam of the base itself. Dean Cundey's incredible camera work, travelling down the corridors, moving through doorways, following characters, retreating from people, or just empty corridors with Morricone's music playing behind it. The general eeriness, it's there. The seclusion, the isolation, the little patches of friendship, but everything becomes frayed, everything becomes, because in reality it would do. Even in the workplace, back in the world, tempers fray. You could be busy mates with the person you sit opposite or next to, but day in, day out, even though you're going home and you're getting some respite from it, when you go in the next day, that little thing which you didn't get fixed the day before, and you think it's his fault, and you try to rectify it and it's still not working, and suddenly tempers begin to spark up. And so, as I say, the setting of like Antarctica and an isolated base becomes a microcosm of the greater, bigger picture and all the tensions therein. So in a way, maybe it is the world, different political factions, just whittled down, distilled down to individual characters who have a different viewpoint. It's what it all is. It's the world, literally, in this movie, and it's so clever. But I just thought, Antarctica had managed to remain safe for all of 2020 until now. In the dying days of 2020, 36 are now infected, and they're kind of worried about the ecology out there, because even though it's a vast wilderness of just snow and ice, but there is a huge amount of bacteriology out there and animal life. So you get that polluted, because the root cause of environment, well, not the root cause, but the most significant signpost to the environmental collapse of this planet caused by us, not aliens, but us. Some would say that we are aliens. I know, and I'd be inclined to go along with that, really. We don't fit in with nature at all. We work against nature, whereas everything else works in cahoots with it, but we oppose it. Anyway, where was I going with that? Once again, Kilt-Man was off on a vitally important mission, and then he got sidetracked. by his own imagination. Oh, is this just part of my imagination? Isn't that great? I've got J and B and I've got grouse. I'm well catered for. I can last this entire goddamn winter in my shack, just drunk. But yeah, as I say, it can affect the ecology. I know where I was going with that now. Antarctica and the melting ice caps and all that. That is where we're getting our information from about how the world is changing through what we're doing, what mankind is doing to the environment. That is where we clock it all, and it builds up on its own little Richter scale. So obviously a virus like this getting out there, which can apparently leap from species to species, and there's limited amounts of physical species out there that can be analysed, so it could be dangerous. It could be highlighted a lot quicker, the effects of this disease with its now mutant strain, which has taken hold in the UK. So there's me waffling on about Antarctica when I've got, you know, an alien virus war taking place right here, right on my own doorstep. So trust no one, or trust in the Lord, you know. But yeah, crazy times. This video, by the way, was not on the schedule. This one was just prompted because I got the news flashing up that, you know, Antarctica was now infected. I know I'm grinning, but it's not a good thing, is it? It's not a good thing at all. But I do find it amazing that it's a vast continent which nobody owns, and yet everybody's there. Norwegians, Russians, Americans, Chileans, Argentinians, British. Everyone's there. French. Everyone is there. Why are they there? I mean, we could do a lot of videos on the things that have been supposedly found there, and, you know, do yourself a favour and do research some of the stuff about Antarctica. Pretty much every superpower, every country values Antarctica very, very highly. There is a lot more going on in Antarctica than any mainstream news outlet is ever going to divulge. So a lot is taking place, but it is so inhospitable, which is why we're not all there. So and I think the tourist trade has now been sort of nixed, because people do go out there to have a little look, little nosy round, and I'd go again. I mean, how many out there have been to Antarctica? Hey. Yeah, no, me neither. No. Not Ned, is there? I'm joking. I'd love to go. I would love to go there. It is a spellbinding place, but you kind of want to go to where that great big hanger-shaped hole in the ice mountain is, and of course you've got pyramids there. They found pyramids, haven't they? But, you know, does that get reported on? I bet you there's some bloody monoliths there now. There's a massive multitude of monoliths in Antarctica. You can't see them because they're all covered in snow and ice, but I bet you they're there. But yeah, there's a great big, huge hole carved into the side of a mountain, which looks just like something out of Battlestar Galactica, where, you know, jets and fighters and all sorts of vehicles and space, you know, machines can just take off and come in and land and hide, and a big shield door can come down. That's been massively photographed, and if all the mysteries of the world were suddenly explained to you, you'd just go. You'd be like that guy that they find in the Norwegian base who has managed to slit both his wrists and his throat and then frozen to death. He freezes to death before he even bleeds to death, because his blood is frozen in mid-flow. How does he cut both wrists and his throat? How does he do that? How does he do that? Yeah. But it's a striking image. But yeah, once all the mysteries of the world have been explained to you, what's left? Because mankind, us, you and me, we have an inquisitive brain, and that could be the thing which is the downfall of us, because it made us split the atom. To quote the thing from the world, yeah, that made the world a happier place, didn't it? atomic bombs. We're great at using technology and science to create new and fabulous ways of destroying each other. And then we make all these fantastic leaps and claims about medical advancements, and yet the world has been brought to its knees by this COVID-19 malarkey. So, anyway, folks, this has been a weird, rambling mess of a video. But things ain't all bad, you know. But yeah, don't go west, go south. Antarctica, that's where it's at. That's where it's all happening. But yeah, I think that was the last place which was safe from coronavirus, but no longer. So don't worry about the Swedes or the Norwegians. It's the Chileans you got to watch now. The Chileans. I mean, isn't everybody chilly in Antarctica? I'll get me coat with its thermal lining. Folks, I have been and always shall be Kilt-Man, even though I'm not wearing a kilt on this video. I'm wearing a flight suit. So, do you know what? I think I might go out like this. I think I might go to the pub and have me dinner. Chicken curry and chips. I said I was going to do that yesterday and I never actually did it. If you look back on that previous video, I was like, I talked myself into going to the pub, and then I actually never got around to it at all. So it owes me. It owes me. And I must go and collect. So, and I might go around like this actually. I could wear a full mask, a full face mask, and walk around in a jumpsuit. And people would go, alright, Kilt-Man. And I'd be like, fuck do you know it's me? How the fuck do you know it's me? I went to the Halloween 2018 premiere. Do stop me if I've said this before, because I know I have said it before. And I went down there to the premiere dressed in the full regalia and I've got all the boiler suits from various movies of Michael Myers, and I've got various masks as well. But I had the mask from that movie, and on day I got the mask straight away before the film came out, and I went to that premiere in the blue boiler suit that he wears in that movie, and I had that mask on. And the minute I set foot outside the door and took a left turn, left the grounds of Kilt Mansion, I started on my hike, my menacing Myers-like hike down towards the cinema. Straight away, beep, 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 and a window went down to a passing car. Kilt-Man! I was like, I got a fucking mask on. I'm not wearing a kilt. I could be anybody. Well, no. I could be any serial killer. I'm like, everyone seemed to know who. They knew who I was. What gives? What gives? Have I got like? Do I just give off like a tartan aura or something like that? And a tartan borealis. Anyway, folks, right, that's it. I will be back shortly with a full review of the classic sci-fi movie, The Time Machine, and that's a little Christmas present for the guy who asked me to do it, whose name I've now forgotten. Damn it! Who was it who asked me to do it? Well, anyway, it's coming up. So, folks, be happy, be safe. If you're going to Antarctica, wrap up well. Make sure you test everybody thoroughly you're going to let into your shack. In fact, don't let anybody into your shack unless it's Adrienne Barbeau and you can play chess with her. Strip chess. Folks, anyway, please take it easy, be happy, be healthy, and I'm going to see you all later, because I'm just going to wait here for a while, see what happens. I know I'm human.